YouTube family? It's your boy Dwight. Welcome back to the channel, Silverback Sillage. First off, do me a huge favor. Make sure you smash that like button, like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I post new content. Well, the seasons are about to change, so it's about that time that I give my audience my take on 10 fragrances that I would like to be in heavy rotation this coming spring. So if you'd like to know what those are, keep it locked. Well, let's get right off into it. With spring on the horizon, everybody's probably wondering what they're going to be putting in their rotation and what fragrances are good, especially if you're new to this fragrance thing. You might need a little bit of advice or some helpful tips as far as what you should be wearing this spring. So I got a few of them for you. But I also got, with this video, there's a twist to it too. I got 2 new fragrances I just got in my collection that I'm giving my first impressions also in this list on those 2. Those will be the 2 that I really talk about notes and stuff like that a little bit on. These other ones, I'm not going to do a whole lot about notes, but I'm going to tell you kind of what it does and different, like maybe instances that you can use it in this spring. Let's get started. First up, Dior Sauvage EDT. Now with this one, it's a fresh, spicy, amber, citrus, aromatic, musky, woody, herby, herbal, warm, spicy, and lavender scent. It's one that is an excellent projector. So when you spray this one on your clothes and on your skin, this one will reach out and go get people 2-3 feet away. It's been out forever, so people actually have heard of it, of course. But it's one to me that can be used a little bit better in the springtime versus summer, because sometimes summertime, if you don't control the sprays, you can actually choke people out in the room. But the smell on this one is excellent. In your number 9 spot, Aqua Digios Profondo Lights. This one here, it's aromatic, woody, fresh and spicy, marine, and balsamic. But one thing about this one versus the original Profondo Lights that I like about it, it got a little bit of a green nuance to it. So it's perfect for the springtime, because any fragrance that got a lot of either between like vetivers or green nuances and is not too weak to maybe power through maybe a rainy day or a breezy day would definitely work. It definitely has that Aqua Digio original DNA, but it has its own flair with those greens and marines nuances to it. In your 8th spot, Salvatore Federagamo Aqua Scenziole Blue. Another wonderful one. Now with this one, the main accords for it is amber, woody, aromatic, citrus, warm and spicy, lavender. You got some vanilla in there, a little earthy. That's what sets it apart from most blue fragrances, because a lot of blue fragrances people get bored of because they all begin to resemble one another, whether it's Bleu de Chanel, Sauvage, and so on and so forth, Aqua Digio sometime. But in this case, this one having that earthy nuance to it, that vanilla, strong vanilla, and a little bit of a musky dry down, sets it apart. But to me, that's one that is also best used in the spring versus summer, which I will be using it in the summer, but on some of the cooler days, because it's strong, it has its own personality, and let yourself be known, but you won't smell exactly like everybody else. My next one. First off, I also went through a brief stint in my collecting journey where I started getting rid of the boxes, because I thought the boxes was clunky and in the way and taking up too much space. I don't do that frequently anymore, but that's how I didn't end up actually doing a first impression on this one, showing the box presentation and all. And this one here, in its current form that I have right here, has been discontinued. They came out with the new fragrance line, which if you look at it online, you better see it, but here it is. Commodity Vetiver. Now, as I was saying, this bottle presentation is not like this anymore. It has a different new look to it. I actually don't own any of those yet. But with this one, you get woods, you get a fruity nuance in there, you get aromatic nuances, earthy, fresh, patchouli, warm, spicy, green. There's some florals in this one too. So this is not only a vetiver scent that's perfect for the spring, but it also has some florals in there that sets it apart. But they mix in different little fruits. I'll actually talk more in detail about it when I give a full review of it, because it's definitely full review worthy. But this is one you need in your collection if you can still get it. If not, just try to shoot for the new and improved vetiver that they came out with in 2022. Next one is by Yves Laurent, and it's the EDP concentration in the Y family. Now this one here, what you get: aromatic, woody, fresh and spicy, amber, warm, spicy, fruity, fresh, herbal, citrus, and once again some greens in there. It's a fan favorite. So this one here is not one that's like struggling to be well known in the fragrance community. But to me, sometime in the summertime, when it's real hot, this one here can potentially be a little bit cloying or too strong for especially enclosed places, or maybe wearing it to the office. If you're going to be out in the open, you can open up on the sprays a little bit more. But when it's a little bit warm / cool, to me is when it can be at its best, versus extremely hot where it plays with the nuances of it, and sometimes maybe can make it too strong. But it's one of my favorite fragrances in my collection in the designer world. Another one that went through that box getting rid of transition, but now is the time to be wearing this one, and it's actually a part of one of my favorite houses that I'm yet to talk about on the channel till today, and that's Armage Très Nuit. Now this one here, right off rip, that bottle presentation is something that's a big deal for me, because it's kind of shaped like those XO bottles in that Yak family. But where this one, to me, has its own special deal, it resembles Green Irish Tweed by Creed, and has a lot of similarities to it. Accord-wise, you get citrus, you get powder, you get violet, you get lavender, aromatic, woody, iris, which is very, very strong in this fragrance. You get amber, herbal tones to it, and a little bit of floral, but not too much. But it does remind me a lot of Green Irish Tweed. I actually had a sample of Green Irish Tweed, tested it next to this. They're very similar. Green Irish Tweed's a little bit smoother, of course, for the price point. But to me, for $19.99 on most websites, discounted, whether it be Fragrance X, Fragrance Net, and so on and so forth, this is one you definitely should buy. Blind buy worthy at 20 bucks. I mean, because you could think of a lot of other things that you spend 20 bucks on that will not please you as much as this fragrance right here. But for me, it's going to always be in my collection, and it's a springtime staple. Now we get into the heavy hitters. By Kilian, Roses on Ice. Got to smell it every time I pick this one up. Oh, man. This one here, what you get: ozonic, aquatic, aromatic, greens, fresh and spicy, rose, citrus, woody, musky, and powdery. This one here is a little bit higher on the price tag, priced at that $200 mark. But when it comes to the bottle presentation and its performance, I get 10 plus hours on my clothes and skin when I spray this one right here. But it's perfect for the springtime because you get that gin and tonic vibe with it. But it's also going to make you smell different from anybody that you're around. And if you don't have somebody that's in the fragrance community, chances are they won't have this one in their collection. So it'll also make you stand apart for that reason. And it's actually, out of this whole list, it's probably my wife's favorite out of the entire list. The next one, Bond Number 9, Bleecker Street. Bottle presentation is awesome. But you know I love, by now, if you've been watching this channel for any extended amount of time, you know I love Bond Number 9's bottle presentations. But this one here, one of my favorite scents, period, overall. But along with that, I like the fact that you get your fruits in there with that blueberry that's in there. You get a little bit of, I want to say cinnamon might be in it, but you got ozonic, aromatic, green, earthy, mossy, aquatic, sweet, and fresh. But to me, it's different from everything else in this list because of that blueberry ambiance that's in there. That sets it apart because I don't have any other fragrances that have blueberry in there. So it makes it unique, perfect for spring. It's like one of the number one spring scents, if not the number one as far as I'm concerned, thus far in my fragrance journey. Now to my first impression fragrances. I'll get my handy dandy opening tool. First on the list, Profondo. They have this one labeled as a quintessential office fragrance, or at least one of them. This is a 100 ml box presentation, bottle presentation. Eau de toilette concentration. Back of the box, nothing much. On the bottom, just a bunch of product information and nothing on the top. Let's crack it open and see what we got here. Get rid of that plastic. On the side of the bottle, you got Profondo, but it's blacked out where you can't really see it. Let's open it up. Here's your bottle presentation. Let's give her a spray here before I get to talking about it and see what I think about it. Excellent atomizer. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Main accords is powdery, iris, violet, woody, fresh and spicy, earthy, amber, warm and spicy, aromatic, and floral. So as you can see by most of these main accords within these fragrances, one thing they kind of share in common, a lot of them has your greens in there, aromatic, some iris and powdery, and little earthy, all perfect for spring when it comes to the nuances within these fragrances. Now what I'm getting off of it is that powdery iris. It's like super duper strong in there, so I would say it reigns supreme over any of the other things that they talked about within here. Perfect for the office from what I'm smelling off of it. So it's one that I would definitely put in rotation if you got an office job or if you're going to be around a bunch of people in enclosed areas. With this one, you can spray, I ain't going to say spray away, but you can spray a decent amount of it and you won't offend nobody's nose and you'll smell fresh and clean at all times with this one. And last but not least, I'm finally branching off into the house of Tom 44 with Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver Eau de Parfum concentration. It's a box presentation. This is also a 100 ml bottle. Let's crack it open and see what we got here. Get rid of that stupid plastic. Okay. And here's your 100 ml bottle presentation. Let's give her a spray on the other hand. See what we got going on here. Decent atomizer on that one. That's nice. That's nice. High oil concentration too, as you can see. Did plenty of fragrance running down my hand. Main, of course, for this one though is woody, aromatic, it's citrus, earthy, fresh, and spicy. But what I'm getting off of it is those fresh citruses, and that's super duper strong within that one. Note breakdown for that one is a grapefruit. Hold on here, it's moving around on me here. You got grapefruit, orange blossom, sage, nutmeg, orris root, pimento, vetiver, woody notes, oak moss, and amber. But what I'm getting off the first top end of it is lots of grapefruit with a little bit of, I don't know about orange blossom because that's more like a plant, so to speak, so I don't have a lot of experience with that one. But the grapefruit is strong. A little bit of the orris root, I do pick it up, but it's a fresh and clean scent. So it's real resemblant to Aqua Digios original, but with a whole lot more citrus in the up top notes of it. But in the office, if you have an office job and you don't own this one, you slipping. If you are looking forward to smelling good this spring and you don't have this one, once again, you slipping. This one here, those citruses are very pleasant, very clean. So fresh out the shower, you spray this on your skin and on your clothes. I can imagine it performing good because the citruses are good, but it's not one of those that doesn't lack, from this note breakdown, a dry down that'll allow it to last anywhere between 8 or more hours. Got to spend some more time with that one than Prada alone, but those two there should be in everybody's collection. I don't care where you work at. Plus, this spring is going to be time for me to really put them in rotation. As you can see, these right here are staples in the springtime. I advise everybody to get their nose on every one of them and possibly buy at least half of them or all of them. It depends on how you want to go about it. I plan to do a video like this each season this year. We started off with spring. If you have any of these in your collection and have spent a bunch of time with them, leave a comment in the comments. Let me know what you think. Or if you're looking forward to trying any of these and would like my opinion thus far on them, leave a comment and let me know and I'll respond back to you. But other than that, that's my time. Peace.